Alright, so Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from Group 5 and today we are going to present about environmental costs and benefits. But before that, let me introduce you to my group members. Me, myself is Afiq Ashram bin Sazali, and this is Ahmad Nabil Najmi bin Roslan, and the other one is Muhammad Nur Iman bin Maf651.
Before we go further, let's get to know on what is environmental costs and benefits. Environmental cost benefit refer to the economic appraisal of policies and projects that have the deliberate aim of improving the provision of environmental services or actions that might affect, sometimes adversely, to the environment as an indirect consequence. In conducting this environmental cost-benefit analysis, we will need to calculate environmental costs. So, what is environmental costs? Environmental costs are the costs incurred by the companies directly or through third parties to prevent, reduce or repair damage to the environment arising from their operating activities. Next, we take a look at the categories of environmental costs. There is 4 categories. The first 2 is environmental appraisal costs and environmental prevention costs. For environmental appraisal costs, these are the costs of activities performed to monitor environmental effects that a firm is responsible for. Example, the costs arising from inspection of products and contamination testing. The second one is environmental prevention costs. These are the costs of activities performed to prevent the production of waste that could cause damage to the environment. Examples include the cost of recycling products, training staff, and carrying out environmental studies. Now we take a look at another 2 categories of environmental costs, which is environmental internal failure costs and environmental external failure costs. For environmental internal failure costs, these are the costs of activities that have to be performed when contaminants and waste have been produced by a company but not discharged into the environment. Examples include treating toxic waste and maintaining pollution equipment. Lastly is the environmental external failure costs. These are the costs incurred by a company if it discharges waste into the environment. Examples include the cost of cleaning up oil spills or cleaning up polluted river. A company may also incur fines or other penalties or lose sales if it acquires a poor environmental reputation. These are some of the many examples of environmental costs, which is waste disposal and measures taken to prevent its formation, protection of the soil, surface water and groundwaters, protection of air and climate from pollution, reduction of noise pollution, and biodiversity and landscape protection.
A cost-benefit analysis is the process of comparing the projected or estimated cost and benefit or opportunities associated with a project decision to determine whether it makes sense for a business perspective. There is a 2 types of cost-benefit analysis, which are financial cost-benefit and also environment cost-benefit. So what is the similarity between financial and environment cost-benefit? So both estimate the net benefit of project investment based on the difference between the with project and without project situations. Now let's look at difference between financial and environment cost benefit. Financial cost benefit compare benefits and costs to the enterprise. However, for environment cost benefit is compare benefit and cost to the enterprise and also consider the impact to environment. That's one of the basic concepts. So let's say you work for the town and there's some sort of mineral deposit under a forest nearby that you might be able to make money on. You got $1,000 to get started. What do? Well, easily enough you could find out how much it costs to do, find out how much money you can earn, and see which number is bigger. Trying to find out if you come out ahead compared to doing nothing or doing other option. You're trying to put everything into quantifiable dollars value to find the best project or best decision. You're not just concerned with how this project affects one firm. You're concerned with everyone. Is everyone going to be better off? So what are some of the other things we would need to be considered? First of all, you have to decide if you're not a single firm, then whose perspective are you considering? Which people involved are paying the cost and which people are getting the benefit? Let's take an example of a mining project. So, a new project in mining reduced unemployment, saving in town money on assistance and policy. However, the town lost access to lumber, fuel, woods, and other forest products. It also will affect noisy to the town or surrounding wildlife, and you will also want to look much more into the future, especially for the mining. Does the forest grow back? What about the tailing port, that place where they put all the toxins on economy mining product? How long will that be there? Any of this affect the drinking water supply? What if there is some available within the forest that will definitely go extinct? Are there any other alternative other than mining for using the same land? Maybe instead of starting a mining operations, they could turn the forest into some sort of maintained conservation park that can attract tourists. How big is the analysis going to be, or how many people the analysis is going to include? Is there another town that close enough that you might want to look at? Different decisions and different projects may affect the entire world. For example, if you're going to start including like global warming, this type of analysis is called an economic cost-benefit analysis or social analysis.
Right. Now I'll be presenting about the application steps of cost-benefit analysis. So there are 4 steps involved in this analysis. The first step is to specify clearly the project or program. For your analysis to be as accurate as possible, you must first establish the framework within which you are conducting it. You have to identify the goals and objectives you are trying to address with the proposed project. This can help you identify and understand your costs and benefits, and will be critical in interpreting the results of your analysis. For example, making a decision on main elements of the proposal, such as location, timing, who are the groups involved, and also the metric to be used in measuring. Now, once the project is determined, there are 2 programs involved. There are physical project and also regulatory project. Physical project basically refers to activities or program done in cleaning up polluted area. For instance, beach restoration project. The other project is a regulatory project, which basically refers to enforcement of environmental law and regulations, like water disposal practice, for example. The next step is to describe quantitatively and qualitatively the inputs and outputs of the project. In this step, you'll have to sit down and compile 2 separated lists. One of them is of all the projected costs, and the other one is of the expected benefits of the proposed project. You have to determine relevant force of input and output. This step helps the company in determining the cost, input, and output of the project. So, the third step is to estimate the social cost and benefit of these inputs and outputs. Once you have compiled exhaustive list of all costs and benefits, you must establish the appropriate monetary units by assigning a dollar amount to each one of them. This is to put values on input and output flows by measuring the cost and benefits. So if you don't give all the costs and benefits a value, then it will be difficult for them to be compared accurately among themselves and also other public activities. So now the last step is to compare these benefits and costs that arise from the project. So once every cost and benefits has the dollar amount next to it, you can tally up each list and compare the 2. This can be done by finding the net benefit through subtraction of total cost from total benefits. If there is positive net benefit, then there is a business case for you to proceed with the project valuation. But if the total cost outnumbered total benefits, then you may want to reconsider the proposal.
Next, we take a look on the benefits of environmental cost benefits. For a data-driven approach, environmental cost-benefit analysis allows an individual or organization to evaluate a decision or potential project free from bias. If we put in real-life perspective, in the pursuit of profit maximization, the company needs to take into consideration environment factor. Environmental protection costs such as filtering poisonous gases before releasing them into the air. For example, we can see that TNB, which use industrial chimney in filtering the use of coal in generating electricity. Next benefit is it can make decisions become simpler. Business decisions are often complex by nature. By reducing a decision to cost versus benefits, it can make this dilemma less complex. This can be said that if a company wants to make a decision to accept a project, the benefit must exceed the cost of the whole project, including the cost from protecting the environment. The last benefit is uncover hidden costs and benefits. In environmental cost-benefit analysis, forces us to outline every potential cost and benefit associated with a project, which it can uncover less obvious factors like indirect or intangible costs. This can be said that it is a must for the company to identify environment costs in order to evaluate whether to take the project or not. For every analysis, for sure, there will be a limitations in implementation of it. The first limitation is the lack of educational programs to highlight the importance of the environment. This has resulted in most companies look down on the importance of taking care of the environment. Most of the company doesn't care about the risk if they don't take care of the environment because their main focus is to minimize the operation costs. For example, the disposal of toxic residues at Sungai Keluang near Bayan Lepas Industrial Zone during 2019 is the result of the lack of education regarding taking care of the environment. The second limitation is the lack of strict laws regarding environmental concern. This will make the company to take for granted because the government does not emphasize in the law that it is important for every company to take care of the environment. This has resulted in a study where it found that there are 4 main hotspots that are the location of industrial waste due to the law that is not strict regarding environment, which is located at Perak, Pahang, Johor and Selangor. This all happens due to the fines imposed on the companies that dispose of toxic waste are not commensurate with the negative impact of industrial waste disposal activities.
Now let's move to the real life example. We already provide 3 examples which are Sunway City, Putrajaya and T-Life. 4 decades ago, Malaysia's Sunway City, Kuala Lumpur was little more than a wasteland bare and virtually devoid of life following years of mining upheavals. Gravel, sands and mud were essentially as all that was left behind. Today, the 800-acre site in Malaysia's first fully integrated green township, serving a vibrant community of more than 200,000 people with smart energy management system, an elevated electrical business system, free Wi-Fi, and any area of sustainability features that have earned numerous certifications and awards. Green space make up 40% of the township, which is now home to more than 150 species of flora and fauna. Coexisting among them are an award-winning mall, a water theme park, 3 hotels, multiple universities, a medical center, and residential and commercial buildings, all accessible via interlink, elevate the pedestrian walkway and preserve low-carbon connectivity within the township. To further promote green technology activities in Malaysia, the Prime Minister in the 2010 budget speech announced plan to develop Putrajaya and Cyberjaya as a pioneer township in green technology as a showcase for the development of other townships. Putrajaya is a planned city and its development is based on the city in the current concept, and as such, Green City has always been ingrained in its development right from its inception. The initiative in transforming Putrajaya into low-carbon green city are implemented through city planning and building implementation of planning principles that contribute towards a reduction in carbon emissions. These include green building design and the building sector energy use and carbon reporting program, which is also known as BECO2R. Secondly, through energy usage, PPJ has actively encouraged the use of renewable energy and energy efficient lighting fixture for office and public facilities, and has led by example by installing solar PVs at several government buildings. Lastly, solid waste management. To minimize solid waste production, the city has taken measures such as providing various tree-out facilities, composting facilities, enforcement of the use of biodegradable products, and several other tree-out aligned programs. Tea Life aims to elevate the tea drinking experience and create a positive environmental impact with their fans. Therefore, Tea Life introduced Eco Strollers Cup, an innovative cup design that holds topping on top of the drink. Each sip is now a small flow from cup to mouth, thus eliminating the need of straw. No topping wastage, eco-friendly and reusable, and made from food grade. As part of Tea Life's commitment to sustainability, they also initiate the Tea Life Eco Series, a line of sustainable creation meant to elevate the tea drinking experience and at the same time to create a positive environmental impact.
So, to conclude, an environmental cost-benefit analysis is crucial in assisting companies to plan and also control the costs associated with the environmental effects from their business activities. Also, it contributes several benefits towards companies. For example, it makes complex decision-making process simpler by reducing a decision only to cost versus benefits. Other than that, CBA also helps companies to uncover hidden costs and benefits through the process of outlining every potential cost and benefits associated with the project, which can uncover less than obvious factors like indirect or intangible costs. Despite all these advantages, there are also some limitations associated with CBA. One of them is that it is challenging to predict all the factors that may impact the outcome, as most external changes cannot be predicted. To add, environmental measures can be seen prioritized by big companies like Ford Motor Company, who aims on becoming carbon neutral company by 2050 through their 10-part environmental policy. Tea Life, on the other hand, creates a positive environmental impact through their innovation of Eco Strollers Cup. Lastly, Disney can be seen committed in protecting the planet and delivering a positive environmental legacy for future generations by reducing emissions.